The following is a paid announcement by the Jamaica Labour Party.
My fellow Jamaicans, on this, the eve of yet another general election, we give thanks to Almighty God for sparing us as a nation and blessing us as a people. We are not where we want to be in some aspects of our political system and practice. However, we have come a far way and we continue to improve. These past 4.5 years have been a remarkable experience, and I am humbled and honored to be your Prime Minister. You have been front and center in my agenda. I get up each day and apply every fiber of my being, every ounce of my judgment in serving you. My greatest pleasure is seeing the direct impact of a policy on the lives of the Jamaican people. From the transformative impact of the HOPE program on the lives of unskilled youth, to the increased purchasing power our tax break and reduced NHT interest rates gave to workers and prospective homeowners in this country. There is nothing like turning on a pipe in a community that never had water before. In 2016, I offered myself to serve you, and through your vote, you placed your confidence in me and entrusted me with a mandate. I'm here this evening to account for my stewardship and provide a brief outline of just some of the things a new Jamaica Labour Party government with me as your Prime Minister committing to do and achieving. For the first time in a very long time, a political party seeking a consecutive term of office in Jamaica can campaign on its record of achievements. The Jamaica Labour Party stands proudly on our record. We have fixed more roads over the past 4.5 years than any other administration in the last 50 years. This includes farm roads. We've completed the 3 miles overpass, the Barbican Road, Constant Spring Road, Hagley Park Road, the Mandela Highway, and in Western Jamaica, we have done the ferries to Macfield. We look forward in our next term to completing the Southern Coastal Highway Improvement Project, the Montego Bay Bypass, and the East-West Highway from Maypen to Williamsfield. In terms of water, my administration quadrupled the budget for rural water supply systems. We have provided new or improved water systems in several previously underserved communities across Jamaica, areas such as Gibbs Hill in St. Mary, Claremont in Hanover, Flower Hill in St. James, Essex Valley in St. Elizabeth, and Salt River in Clarendon. In housing, we have 2.5 times the number of NHT housing starts compared to the previous administration. We presented 5 budgets during our term with no net new taxes. 3 of those budgets had no taxes whatsoever. We secured a record 14 consecutive quarters of economic growth. We created over 100,000 new jobs. Our tenure saw the most people ever being employed at any one time, 1.269 million Jamaicans. Unemployment fell to 7.2% as at January 2020, the lowest ever. Youth unemployment fell to 17%. Poverty was reduced by 40%, the lowest it has been in a decade. We kept inflation low and stable. We gave you not one, but 2 1.5 tax breaks. We increased the income tax threshold to 1.5 million and reduced GCT by 1.5%. We have reduced the NHT interest rates and increased the loan ceilings. We have made life much easier for our small business operators by abolishing the asset tax for non-financial businesses, abolishing the minimum business tax, increasing the GCT threshold from 3 million to 10 million, and introducing a 20% procurement incentive and a 375,000 tax credit. We reduced estate taxes and lowered stamp duty and transfer tax rates to unlock real estate transactions and stimulate the construction industry. We returned to a policy of non-mandatory fees at the secondary level and moved the per-student subvention from 11,000 to 17,000. We increased PATH benefits and increased the number of days our children are fed from 3 to 5 days. We reduced the interest rates on student loans from 9% to 7.5%. We improved public health care facilities, reduced waiting time for medical procedures, and collaborated with the private sector in providing diagnostic services. That is our record. Now, a most important decision confronts the electorate on Thursday. Your vote will determine whether or not achievements like these will be continued and the direction of our country for the next 5 years. With the challenges of the COVID-19 pandemic confronting us, and the critical importance of having sober, steady, and reliable leadership to preserve pre-COVID gains in our economy and recover stronger post-COVID, this general election is even that much more significant. We have managed the pandemic well, balancing lives and livelihoods. We have been transparent and open with good and bad news. We have allocated the resources to support the public health effort and cushion the economic fallout for more than 450,000 Jamaicans. The first time in our history that a government has been able to respond so swiftly and completely. We have been very strategic in managing the risks the pandemic poses, some more obvious than others. While spikes in numbers are inevitable in a pandemic, as we have seen in even the most developed countries, our collective success as a country has led to some complacency in our personal behavior. The government has been putting in place the measures that will bring this present spike under control and keep you safe, while not unduly affecting your livelihood, as we have done with previous spikes in the past. However, it is not all about what the government will do. Jamaica does not have the reserves of resources to lock down our country for extended periods. As we enter this new phase of the pandemic, we must now all learn how to live with and protect ourselves from the SARS-CoV-2 virus and the COVID-19 disease it causes. In this phase, we cannot rely on fear, panic, and stigma to get temporary compliance. Rather, there must be a conscious effort on the part of every Jamaican that as we go about our daily lives, working, worshiping, shopping, and yes, voting on election day, we will follow the established infection prevention and control protocols. Wear a mask in public. Maintain social distance. If ill, stay home and seek medical help. Do not gather in groups of more than 20 persons. If you are over 70, stay indoors mainly and exercise great care in going out once daily. Respect and obey the quarantine if you have been placed under such orders. Wash or sanitize your hands regularly. These personal measures, coupled with a new public education campaign, tighter enforcement and prosecution of breaches, and control of non-productive and unnecessary movement, will gradually bring the numbers down and relieve the stress on our hard-working frontline workers and our healthcare system generally. I have faith in our Jamaican people that we will quickly develop the understanding and compliance. Together, we will get through this. Promises and sweet talk from persons seeking your vote have featured more prominently than issues, ideas, and track record. Rest assured that the Jamaica Labour Party is not engaged in the business of making fake promises. We make commitments, and when we do, we keep them. The Jamaica Labour Party is about action. We are the people who get things done. The people of Chesterfield and Southeast St. Mary can attest to me keeping my word that I would build a bridge to avert the hazard and inconvenience of crossing a river every day to go about their business. I kept that commitment, and it is against that backdrop that I steer your attention to the issue of trust and credibility. I do not stand here this evening to suggest in any way that my administration is perfect. However, by any objective measure, one would have to conclude that our hearts and deeds are in the right place. Others have made reckless and unrealistic promises, such as removing GCT off electricity. Unwitting, they broke their promise. The same type of promise is now being made. I know that the Jamaican people will not allow themselves to be tricked this time. We have all sacrificed through several IMF tests, and as a society, we all agreed that the days of deficit financing was over and that paying for social welfare by borrowing and running up the national debt, those days were over. Now, what the PNP is proposing is to destroy the social consensus on fiscal discipline, and it would be a departure from the fiscal rules. It is not so long ago for us to forget that collectively we have had to absorb the burden of almost $60 billion in new taxes between January 2012 and February 2016. We have had to endure a wage freeze and a debt exchange in order to achieve some level of fiscal stability. Out of political desperation, the opposition would now openly promote deficit financing to pay for their plans. This would throw us back in debt all over again. This is run with it, another run with it. Let us reject that kind of recklessness, reject those destructive promises. We have sacrificed too much and we have come too far to go back there now. Say no to the PNP. As your government, we have been faithful in our stewardship and we have given significant returns on the investment you made in us back in 2016. You can depend on our sober, steady, and reliable leadership to take Jamaica into the future and ensure that we recover stronger. The Jamaica Labour Party has put forward our manifesto, which comprises our 10-point COVID recovery plan, outlining what we commit to achieve over the next 5 years in our new term of government. As Jamaica recovers stronger, here are some of our specific plans which will shape Jamaica's future in the next 5 years. Now, I'm particularly pleased about this plan for our elderly. We will introduce a new social pension for elderly Jamaicans who are not on PATH, not on NIS, who have no other source of income, and who have been assessed as being in need. Our qualified elderly who are poor will therefore get a monthly stipend to help them live in dignity. We will launch a program to attain 100% participation in our NIS scheme. We want every Jamaican to have an income in retirement. This is how we build wealth, reduce inequality, and ensure the dignity of all. We will build 70,000 new houses over the next 5 years. Our young professionals have been complaining that they are not able to access housing and mortgages. Well, we will set aside 10,000 of those housing solutions for our young people between the ages of 18 and 35, and they will have 100% financing by the NHD. So young people, you don't need to rent, you don't need any down payment, just move in and pay your mortgage. We will provide $500 million in grants to micro and community-based businesses to help our hairdressers and barbers and tailors and dressmakers, our grocery shop operators and cook shop operators to bounce back stronger from COVID. We will also make $1.2 billion in tourism grants available to small and medium-sized businesses in the tourism sector through the Exim Bank. Our farmers and fisher folk, well, we know you have been hit by COVID as well. So we will provide $3 billion in agri-care support over the next 3 years to help you maximize your productive capacity and profitability. For our young people, we will reduce the interest rate on student loans from 7.5% to 6.5% and extend the repayment period from 15 years to 25 years, making your monthly SLB repayments more manageable. We will extend the period for commencing loan repayments from 6 months to 14 months after graduation. We will remove the requirement for guarantors in student loan applications for students transitioning from state care. We will relax guarantee requirements so that only one student loan guarantor per applicant from a PATH household is required. We will facilitate a tax-free university saving account for parents to save towards their child's university education. We will continue our march towards the digital society, and we're paying close attention to the concerns being raised about the capacity of our ICT infrastructure. We will build a national broadband network infrastructure which is uniformed, future-proof, resilient, and managed by an independent public-private authority and available to all telecom players in the market to utilize. The network will be appropriately sized to manage Jamaica's current and expected ICT demands. This will become the new information highway, which will connect and give access to fast and reliable internet to all Jamaicans anywhere in Jamaica. This network will facilitate the development and expansion of the BPO industry and its evolution to the knowledge services industry. In line with this, we will build 6 STEM schools dedicated to creating the engineers, technicians, system designers, coders, and programmers that will operate the business process and knowledge service industries. We will build an academy dedicated to the creatives to generate the skills in areas of animation, music, film, and the performing arts to supply and drive the content creation industry, which will also use the super broadband highway of technology. We will complete or build out new spaces for BPOs and knowledge service industries and logistics operations in Kingston, Caymanas, Portmore, Montego Bay, Falmouth, Morant Bay, and Port Antonio through the Port Authority and the Factories Corporation of Jamaica. We will create another 150,000 new jobs in the next 5 years in the areas of BPO, knowledge services, content development, logistics and fulfillment, and the construction of purpose-built spaces. We intend to make Jamaica the tech country of the Caribbean and a leader in the 4th industrial revolution. Water is life, and everywhere I go in Jamaica, we hear the cry. And I am determined to solve this problem. On the production side, we have developed a plan to bring approximately 100 million gallons of water per day into the system, involving pumped hydro storage and desalination to cover Clarendon, Kingston and St. Andrew, St. Catherine, particularly the hilly sections, and parts of St. Thomas. This will solve once and for all our water shortage problems in our utility areas and increase our resilience. We will continue to increase our budget for rural water supply to ensure that communities in rural Jamaica and outside the utility area get access to potable water. These are just some of the main plans that we have, which will address some of the issues that are of concern to you. So, Jamaica, you have a big decision to make on Thursday. When all is said and done, it is action and performance that counts. It is action and performance that will deliver on the promises made. The choice, therefore, is clear. On election day, choose the stronger team, the united team, the team you can depend on, the team that will make Jamaica recover stronger. The government of Jamaica has put measures in place to facilitate the safe and orderly taking of the poll on Thursday. I urge you to come out, wear your mask, make your way to the polling station, practice physical and social distancing, sanitize your hands, and place your X beside the bell. Vote for the stronger team. Vote for the team that has delivered and shown the track record. Vote for the Jamaica Labour Party.
The proceeding was a paid announcement by the Jamaica Labour Party.